How many times have you heard about the importance of expressing gratitude in your life? I know I have heard this over and over and over in the wellness space. And I know sometimes when it comes to specific wellness topics, it can feel like a broken record, or it can feel like we hear this all the time, but we don't really understand exactly why it's so valuable or why we need to prioritize it. And for some reason, gratitude can feel like that. It's not always easy to implement it, but it really is a simple practice that makes a profound difference in our health. So, on today's episode, I'm going to dive into talking about why gratitude matters. And it's probably not going to be shocking information, but this is something that I want to make sure I'm sharing with you, because when we think about gratitude, this can transform how our mindset feels in our day-to-day life. As busy women and busy moms, it's so easy to get lost in the demands of everything around us, and we lose sight of where we are right now, being present right now, and being grateful for what we have right now. As you know, if you have followed me or if you're new to following me, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I am an entrepreneur. I have my own wellness business. I'm a women's health coach, and I'm extremely passionate about the work I do. And I will be honest in saying, in working and in continuing to build my brand and build my voice and build the impact that I feel called on my heart, sometimes I get into these seasons where I don't recognize enough all the progress that I have made. And I know this is a common thing that happens for women everywhere. We're striving for the next goal. We're working towards something else at work. We're working towards something in our family. We're trying to make some sort of change. And we don't take the time to pause and actually celebrate what we have done and what we have accomplished up until this point. And that's really what gratitude is about in a nutshell, like taking that pause and giving yourself permission to say, I've really done a lot. And I need to celebrate that. And I need to feel grateful for the ways that I've been able to grow and show up in my day-to-day life. And on the other side of that is really digging into how blessed you are in your life. I know we all have adversity. We all have turmoil. We all have loss. We all have hardship. And that is the reality of life, which we talk about a lot here on the podcast. At the same time, the way we continue to really press forward through really hard seasons is by finding the good, is by taking the time and making a way to really express gratitude for the things in our life that feel really good. So let's talk about why gratitude matters from an overall health standpoint, and what does it really do for our body? The first thing to understand about gratitude is it actually has a really profound impact on the stress we carry and essentially our nervous system. So when we figure out a way to pause the soundtracks in our heads, or actually take a moment to really express gratitude and getting into something that feels more grateful focused, we start to get out of some of that fight or flight response we might feel when we're in really stressful situations. And when we're in a high stress situation, or we're living with chronic stress for whatever reason that might be, it can be really hard to even see this as a tool we can use. We forget that this simple practice can really make a profound difference in how we feel. So I want you to remember that a simple thing like expressing gratitude, being grateful for where you are, being grateful for what you've accomplished, and taking that time to really pause and think through that and focus on that can be transformative for the stress you're carrying and how it feels in your body. The second is it builds emotional resilience and mental clarity. I don't know about you, but I'm always trying to work through, how do I get really clear in my day-to-day? Sometimes it feels simple to do, and sometimes it feels really, really overwhelming and hard to do, depending on the day, depending on what's going on with our family, what's going on with the kids, and so much more. But when I make the time to take that pause and actually get into a place of trying to think through what I feel grateful for, or being really aware of where I'm at and why I feel so at peace with what's happening right now in my life, it provides that opportunity to dig into a little bit more clarity, right? And build this level of, I don't have to feel like I'm stuck or behind or like I'm losing somewhere. Instead, I can focus on really being clear on what I have done and what my family means to me and what my life currently means to me right now. And so the power of gratitude can give us that lens to really look through. And that's a gift in our life. And I want you to remember that, as we talked about in the first point, when we're living in these really high stress, overwhelmed mindset capacities, we lose sight of really focusing on the present moment. And we lose sight of really digging into why we have so much goodness in our lives, because we all do. Sometimes in certain seasons, especially, it just takes a little bit of extra intention and pause to really go out and find it and really go out and focus on it. And then the third is gratitude is something that really allows us to reconnect with good feelings, good, like dopamine focused, endorphin filled feelings like joy, feelings like happiness, feelings like purpose, feeling like you're really connected to who you are and the life that you're leading. This simple practice of really focusing on things that you're grateful for in your life helps you get back into the beauty of the current season you're in. It helps you stay focused on recognizing the value. It helps you with really thinking about, despite the chaos, how can I make sure that I am focusing most on the things that really make a difference in my life, that I need to feel grateful for, that I need to make sure that I'm recognizing as tremendous blessings. I want you to know that, again, gratitude is a very simple practice, but it's not always easy to implement. And when we're stressed, we're overwhelmed, we're not thinking clearly, we aren't connected to feelings that make us feel good, it's very easy to just overlook this as something we can do to really help ourselves. So what are some simple gratitude practices? I'm going to share some things that I do in my life, and I would love for you to comment on social, comment somewhere where we can connect a little bit more on this episode, and share with me. You can also go on YouTube and share with me, what do you do to actually practice gratitude? How is this transformative in your own health and in your own life? The first is starting and ending the day with 3 things you're grateful for. So starting the day with 3 things that you feel grateful for, and then at the end of the day, thinking of 3 things you feel grateful for that happened in that actual day. The start the day, end the day concept is really powerful. You can write notes in your phone. You can have a sticky note on your fridge. You can put a piece of paper up on your mirror in your bathroom so you can be reminded to write things down right when you get up and right when you go to bed, but a really great practice to lean into. The second thing that I like to do, and I like to encourage people to do this, is actually express gratitude for someone else. And by expressing gratitude for someone else, this actually also fills your cup, which feels really good. Showing someone else you love them, saying thank you, sharing how grateful you are for them in your life, like that is something that not only lifts someone else up, but it makes you feel better as you are pouring into someone else as well. So I use that often, and I encourage other people to do that too. Like if you really want to get into a place of feeling good and leaning into those feel good emotions, share with someone else how grateful you are for them and why they matter to you. The third is using your mirror as a place for affirmations. And for those of you that might be familiar with Mel Robbins, she talks about the high five method, or giving yourself a high five in the morning and doing affirmations alongside giving yourself a high five. And you do that directly in the mirror, and you share with yourself, 3 to 5 reasons why you're grateful for who you are, or 3 to 5 I am affirmations that speak to who you truly are as a person. I am loved. I am capable. I am smart. I am learning. I am evolving. I am growing. I am a great mom. I am a great wife. I am a passionate coach. I'm an amazing teacher. Those kinds of things, affirmations, can be a really powerful practice and essentially a different spin on sharing gratitude really for yourself. And I've talked about this in other episodes, this idea of practicing self-compassion. This kind of falls into that. How can you really get into practicing affirmations and speaking kindly to yourself? And then the last thing is creating gratitude triggers. And this is essentially like another version of habit stacking. I've talked about habit stacking here on the podcast. This is essentially when you do something already in your daily regimen, how can you pair something new with that in order to use it as a reminder or a way to continue to build it into your routine? So for example, when you get in the car in the morning and you turn on the car, maybe that's a time to trigger into saying 3 things out loud that you're grateful for. Or maybe when you're washing dishes at night, at the end of the day, maybe that's a time where you're saying to yourself 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's in the shower in the morning, or in the shower whenever you're taking a shower for the day. It's practicing gratitude in the shower and thinking about things that you're grateful for and saying them out loud or saying them to yourself, whatever speaks to you. But with things that you're already doing, if you habit stack or create some sort of trigger that reminds you to practice this, it can become a little bit more of a habit and something that leads into more of a routine. And so these are just some ideas. And to quickly recap again, it's the start the day, end the day lists. It's pouring into someone else, lifting someone else up in your life, sharing with them how grateful you are for them, saying thank you, etc. And in turn, that really lifts you up as well. The third is mirror affirmations and really looking at yourself, creating I am statements, talking about things you're grateful for or proud of yourself for. Those are really important. And then creating triggers or habit stacking, thinking about how you can build this into something you already do. These are simple ways to think about building in more gratitude in your day. I want to close with this. I know that life is hard, and I know that we all live very busy lives. But as I often say here on the podcast, if we are so busy going out into the world, trying to make a living, doing all the things for everyone else, and we're putting ourselves on the back burner and we're not focusing on the moment and we're not being present and we're not trying to find a way to express gratitude for everything that we have right now, then we're missing the whole damn point. We really are. And that's the deepest message of all inside of this podcast today. Expressing gratitude helps us refocus on what matters most in our life. And when we lead these busy, chaotic lives with so much going on, we can lose sight of that very, very easily. And I'm a firm believer that mindset is the driver of all health. What we're telling ourselves day in and day out will determine how we feel in our days and in our lives. And so we have to be making the time to really make sure we're digging into some level of gratitude as we go through the things, as we manage the adversity, as we're doing all the kid schedules, as we're trying to take care of ourselves. This mindset practice and this idea of expressing gratitude for where you are now, for what you have in your life, and for what matters can be transformative for how you feel from the inside out. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I know balancing time and energy can be a challenge, and I'm so proud of you for listening in and investing in your wellness journey. I feel incredibly grateful to connect with you and for the opportunity to share more knowledge, stories, and encouragement related to all things wellness. I would love to hear how this podcast has served you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review on either iTunes or Spotify. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me reach more women just like you and me who are looking to transform their health from the inside out. Plus, when you share this episode with a friend, we invite more women in to learn alongside us. What a gift. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more we know, the better we can do. For ourselves, for our families, and our future. Well done on taking the step towards a healthier, happier you. Until next week, stay empowered and stay well.